horoscopes from the 21st to the 27th of July. Hi everybody and welcome to this week's Weekly Scopes. If you've heard this before you can skip, but this is just the intro on how I formulate these astrology weekly readings. I use astrology and my intuition to give you advice how you can practically use the knowledge of the stars and the planets and apply them to your life. So my weekly scopes are all based on GMT time and on Vedic Constellational Astrology. So now I'm just going to explain what Vedic Constellational Astrology is and how it differs from Western astrology. So the precession of the equinox is sort of like something that happens in astronomy and astrology, where the Earth's axis undergoes a slow circular motion over 26,000 years, and basically this means that this motion causes a shift in the position of the equinoxes and also the calculation Vedic and Western astrologies use. So around 2,000 years ago, the tropical and sidereal Vedic astrology signs of astrology were aligned in the same position. So if the sun was in Scorpio in Vedic astrology, it was also in the constellation of Scorpio in Western astrology. But because of the precession of the equinoxes, this has caused a gradual westward sort of like drift of the tropical Western signs. So basically these signs and the Western signs shift 1 degree with every 72 years. So as a result of this ongoing shift, when Western astrology says the sun is in the constellation of Pisces, it's typically in the constellation of Aquarius. Still, this is because the degree, orb and the date for Western and Vedic astrology are 24 degrees 24 days apart. So in Western astrology, the sun enters the constellation of Pisces around the 19th of February each year, but actually the sun doesn't arrive into the constellation of Pisces until the 13th to the 15th of March each year, and Vedic astrology takes this into account because it's based on the fixed star positions, and Vedic astrologers use sidereal calculations. So as a result, Vedic astrology takes into account the actual positions of the constellations in the sky at any given time, and also considers the precession of the equinox, adjusting for the shift in the position of the equinoxes over time. But in terms of Western astrology follows the tropical zodiac, which is based on the seasons rather than fixed star positions. Western astrologers also do not directly account for the precession of the equinox in their calculations as well, so this results in slightly different calculations and interpretations that are given whether we're using Western astrology or Vedic astrology. So yeah, as I said, Western astrology uses specific dates, so every year, regardless of where the sun actually is at the sky, the sun moves into Pisces around the 19th of February. So yeah, this discrepancy, this misalignment between the tropical zodiac and the actual positions of the constellations has led to a discrepancy between Vedic astrology and Western astrology. So I consider the actual where the sun and the moon are and where Mars and Venus are at any given time, and this is how I formulate these sort of like weekly scopes. So yeah, thanks for listening to this, and let's dive into this week's weekly scope. Okay, so now I'm just going to explain what parallels and contra-parallels are in astrology, because I use them in my chart interpretation. So declination in astrology is the measure of how far a celestial body is, such as the sun, whether it's either north or south of the celestial equator. And the celestial equator is an imaginary line in the sky above the Earth's equator, which us astrologers use in our interpretation. So parallels happen when two planets are on the same declination. Either both planets are on the north side side, or either both planets are on the south side, and this alignment increases the influence of the involved planets. So it's similar to a conjunction aspect, as it amplifies their energy, making the effects of the planets more pronounced. Contra-parallels, on the other hand, happen when two planets are on the same declination, but one is in the north and one is in the south. So this alignment creates tension, which is similar to an opposition aspect, and it can lead to conflict, challenges and inner struggles between the energies of the planets involved. So contra-parallels highlight areas of friction or contrast in our lives, urging us to find balance between the opposing forces at play. When transiting parallels and contra-parallels happen, they can sort of like trigger significant events, shifting consciousness and periods of intense growth and transformation. So I look at these aspects closely during chart analysis to understand how planetary energies interact and influence each other during a specific time frame, to pinpoint key periods for personal development, relationship dynamics or career shifts, and other shifts like karmic shifts and stuff like that. Because I just find using contra-parallels and parallels gives me more depth in interpretation, so I use them. So contra-parallels and parallels in astrology serve as markers for potential challenges or breakthroughs, guiding us towards more self-awareness, love, acceptance, understanding, forgiveness for ourselves and others, and shifts in consciousness and growth. So overall, just a shift in our mindset if we allow for it. So parallels and contra-parallels just kind of like provide valuable insights into the complexities and nuances of the astrological interactions between planetary movements. So yeah, that's the end of what contra-parallels and parallels are. Okay, so this week we've got quite a few aspects affecting us. So the first one we've got, well, there's three, but still a few. So yeah, let's jump in. The first aspect of this week is the Sun making a parallel to Mars. This is exact on the 23rd of July at 5:33, and it enters on the 18th of July, leaves on the 29th of July at 4:56 a.m. Mercury also makes a parallel to Chiron. This is exact on the 25th of July at 8:54 a.m. and it entered on the 21st of July and leaves us on the 29th of July at 4:56 a.m. as well. And the Sun makes a sextile to Mars, and the Sun's in Cancer and Mars is in Taurus, and this energy entered on the 22nd of July, is exact on the 26th of July, and leaves on the 29th of July at 7:18 p.m. So the Sun's parallel to Mars brings increased energy, assertiveness and motivation. It's a good energy to take courageous, bold, boss person action and go after your goals with passion. An example would be a person starting a new fitness routine, or pushing themselves harder to reach any other goals or solve any other issues or things like that in their life. But negatively, this can lead to increased impulsiveness, aggression and conflicts if we don't channel this energy positively. So it's essential to use the powerful energy of the Sun parallel to Mars to avoid unnecessary conflicts or reckless decision making. And Mercury's parallel to Chiron brings a focus to communication and healing, so it can help us with that self-reflection, deep introspection, therapeutic conversations and emotional revelations through the increase of communication. So someone may find the courage to address or confront past wounds through honest conversations at this time. However, the sadder side of Mercury's parallel to Chiron involves us being sensitive to criticism, misunderstandings in communication, and just dwelling on emotional pain pain, so it's crucial to strike a balance between expressing our vulnerabilities and maintaining healthy boundaries. When the Sun makes a sextile to Mars, it allows us to be more nurturing, it brings grounded determination and focus to us, it promotes us being more harmonious in actions and words, working with ourselves and others to achieve our personal goals or anything else right now, especially sort of like goals or projects related to home and family and emotional and intimacy issues. So you may just find yourself more driven to strengthen your connection to your roots, to your culture, to your religion, to your belief system, or whatever, and some of us would do this through trying to improve the relationship with ourselves or others, or securing more material kind of foundations, or just looking at maybe your savings, your home, what can you do to make yourself feel more safe and secure in your physical home and in your spiritual, psychological, mental and emotional home. So it can just allow us to be more acting from a place of stability and just especially in our creative plans, just really letting our creative out and exploring our emotional depths and the depths of others, and just being open to being more patient and resilient and practical in going after our goals and meeting our deadlines, because sometimes we want things done more quicker, and especially over doing this podcast and stuff and all the other things I'm doing, I've realised we only have 24 hours in a day, but we also do have 24 hours in a day, so just make sure you look at how you're using your time or wasting your time, and how you can make a plan to use your time more efficiently. And if we're willing to work with this energy, we can really build long-lasting results and build on the solid foundation of thinking about what the things we need to do to change whatever it is we want to change in our life or in our relationships right now, and just making a plan on how we can do those sort of things. So overall, as these cosmic influences kind of merge together, they pave the way for us to channel our passions towards our plans, especially those that resonate with our core values, and ultimately, we can lay the groundwork for lasting success and fulfillment right now. And so on the 21st of July, the moon enters Capricorn, and there's a super full moon in Capricorn. And if you want to know all about this, check out the separate audio folders. And Venus makes a sextile to Jupiter, and Mercury makes a square to Uranus. So the moon in Capricorn brings practicality, ambition and discipline to our emotions. It encourages us to focus on our long-term goals, work hard towards what we want to achieve right now, and just be more organised in how we approach our life and our relationships. So positively, when the moon's in Capricorn, it allows us to be grounded, and we need this week, and committed to our responsibilities. It boosts our productivity and allows us to make steady sort of like progress. Venus's sextile to Jupiter is a nice balanced energy, bringing an air of positivity, abundance and good fortune, so we could really have a good time in our love life, or just in how we appreciate beauty and spend our finances right now, or look at earning more finances, or just enjoying what we have right now, even if we don't have as much money or other things as we need, just appreciating the simple things in life. But it can also make some of us appreciate the finer things in life too, and this can lead to overindulgence. But it adds to the creativity and just gives us a sense of optimism and openness. So someone may find themselves starting a new project or making a wise investment during this time. But negatively, as I said, because we can overindulge and be extravagant and just live beyond our means and want to do things beyond our means right now, it's essential to maintain a balance between enjoying the good things and overindulging. So, just learning to, at this time enjoy the abundance, feel good, yeah, but also don't let your new optimism come crashing down because, you decide it's a good idea to spend all your rent money on one item or on socialising, and then, for the rest of the month or whatever, you're stressing over, the deficit. So as we navigate through today's energy, it's important to strike a balance between our professional motivation and looking after our emotional well-being. So, and just reminding ourselves that it's good to go for promotion and recognition at work and in our life, but we have to be mindful of not becoming too rigid, stuck in our ways and neglecting our personal relationships in the process. So also today Mercury makes a square to Uranus, so this just serves as a reminder to stay flexible and open-minded, and gives us the energy to do so, and just be aware of unexpected changes or just sudden developments and disruptions, especially in our communication at this time, which can bring moments of unpredictability or mental tension. It allows us to be more innovative and creative in our thinking and flexible in our thoughts and approaches to how we navigate the challenges that come up right now, which is really, really good. So on the 22nd of July, the Sun makes a trine to Neptune, Mars makes a trine to Pluto, Venus makes a quintile to Mars, Venus makes a biquintile to Saturn, Mars also makes a quintile to Saturn, and the Moon also enters void of course. So the Sun's trine to Neptune, again, another aspect that allows us to be creative and intuitive this week. It can bring spiritual insights, allowing us to have a greater sense of empathy for ourselves and compassion towards others, but negatively because we can feel emotionally overwhelmed and confused. We can escape or have unrealistic expectations. So the best use of this energy is to use it to be creative, so compassion to ourselves and others. Some of you may be inspired to create meaningful work, and this can resonate with yourself or a wider audience and just help you understand your emotions or just give you pleasure at this time. Mars also makes a trine to Pluto, so this just allows us to overcome obstacles, be more determined and resilient, but negatively it can add to the power struggles of the weak and the manipulation and us neglecting our relationships. So the best use of this energy is to be productive, channel it into things that are worthwhile, like solving your problems, showing people how you care about them, and showing yourself some love as well. Starting new projects, continuing old projects, digging deep into your personal growth or asserting your boundaries. It can make us more headstrong at this time and willing to confront our fears head on. So this is really good because we can emerge a more stronger and evolved version of ourselves. Venus makes a quintile to Mars, so this is sort of energy. So it again encourages us to appreciate beauty right now and to want more love or to show love or be loving to ourselves and others. But again, it can add to the impulsiveness and conflicts of the week. The best use of this energy is just to use it to be romantic, to promote self-understanding, and to just try and repair what needs repairing. Being thoughtful in your actions and words towards yourself and others. Mars also makes a quintile to Saturn, so this just allows us to be focused and persevere, but negatively again it can just bring frustration because progress, especially in our communication, can seem kind of like slow now, and with our sort of like our routines, we can just feel like, oh, I'm just not making as much progress as what I thought I could. But as I said earlier, there's 24 hours in a day. We have to give ourselves some grace. So the best use of this energy is to work slowly and steadily towards reaching your goals, being gentle with yourself, and tapping into your inner strength and determination to overcome challenges. So yeah, that's it for the 22nd. On the 23rd of July, the moon enters Aquarius. The sun makes an opposition to Pluto. The sun also makes a parallel to Mars, and Venus makes a sesquiquadrate to Neptune. So the moon in Aquarius brings a wave of innovation and open-mindedness. We may feel more sort of like rebellious and inclined towards seeking intellectual stimulation. So this could be good for working in groups, social causes, thinking outside of the box and helping others, being charitable and stuff like that in a way. But it can also negatively make us emotionally detached and unpredictable, adding to the misunderstandings that can come up in relationships. So we just need to watch out for becoming too cold and disconnected from our feelings at this time, and if we need time out from others, just to say, rather than just to like do it in an aggressive way or in a way that's going to cause conflict, because the other people involved are going to think that you're ignoring them or something like that, and they get upset, and then you're going to have to spend that time trying to repair that relationship. Better you be upfront and just state your needs, and if other people state their needs, and even if they don't meet your needs, you just have to respect that and respect their boundaries at this time. The sun's opposition to Pluto adds to these intense emotions and power struggles that can come up, as it can bring hidden secrets or issues to the surface, forcing us to confront our deepest fears and problems right now and our desires. It supports us in letting go of old patterns that no longer serve us and to embrace personal growth through adversity. But negatively, it can just add to the manipulation that can happen this week in relationships. So it's crucial to maintain self-awareness, love and acceptance and forgiveness, and respect other people's boundaries, to avoid being consumed by obsession or jealousy right now. Venus's sesquiquadrate to Neptune adds romantic idealism and creativity and spiritual connection. It increases our ability to appreciate beauty in all forms, creating compassion and empathy towards others, and it can just sort of like allow us to just be really romantic and have just a feeling of love and everything's going to be alright. But negatively, it can add to the illusion and delusion and the escapism that we can do this week. We can be more susceptible to deception in our relationships, or just inclined towards wishful sort of like thinking rather than facing reality right now. So it's essential to stay grounded and maintain clarity in matters of the heart, to avoid falling into unrealistic fantasies or becoming overly idealistic. So on the 24th of July, the moon enters its disseminating moon phase and also enters void of course. So positively, when the moon's in its disseminating moon phase, it allows us to be more open and share ideas, and this can lead to a better understanding. It allows us to teach others and to learn from others, and it does supports us engaging with our community and feeling more connected to those people who are close to us. Negatively, we can overshare and divulge too much information or become overly opinionated, which can lead to misunderstandings or conflicts. We can also be gullible at this time and susceptible to believing in misinformation or falling for scams during this time. We can also just be emotionally vulnerable. It's quite an emotionally vulnerable week, so it just adds to that and adds to us being prone to mood swings. So the best use of this energy is to work on your projects, to attend workshops and seminars, to listen to podcasts, seek out information that can help you at this time, to work with others as well, and just do things that require a collective sort of like effort. So on the 25th of July, the moon enters Pisces. Mercury makes its exact parallel to Chiron at 8:54 a.m. and I talked about this earlier in the week. And Mercury makes its exact quincunx to Neptune. So the moon in Pisces just allows us to tap into our emotions and connect with our subconscious. It allows us to be more dreamy, intuitive, imaginative. It's a time when creativity and compassion can be higher, so it's great to do spiritual practices or artistic projects, or go on date nights or be more loving, write poetry. Because this energy just creates more empathy and understanding in ourselves and our relationships. If we're open to it, we may find ourselves more tuned to the needs of ourselves and others, and better able to give and offer support and kindness. And because this energy increases our intuition, it just helps us to overcome challenges with more insight and sort of like calmness and understanding. But negatively, the emotional sensitivity can lead to us being more moody and wanting to escape into our addictive habits of indulging in intoxicating substances or people. So it's important to stay grounded and not get lost in fantasy right now or illusions, and set healthy boundaries and take some time out on self-care. On the other hand, Mercury forms a quincunx to Neptune as well, and also Mercury makes a quincunx with Neptune, and Neptune rules Pisces. So this doubles the confusion, especially in miscommunication. There can be more misunderstandings, so it's essential to double check information. Avoid making important decisions if you feel impulsive or confused. Seek out help. It adds to us being innovative in our thinking and being able to see new perspectives and positively. It pushes us and supports us to be unconventional in our ideas and just the way we operate right now. The best use of this energy is to express yourself creatively while staying grounded in reality, and to just work on activities that can help you deal with any emotional or psychological or spiritual sensitivity you feel right now in healthy ways. Doing things like writing, painting, can really help you right now. Doing these things not only serve as outlets for self-expression, but can also aid you in processing any intense feelings or other feelings that come up right now. So just remember to stay mindful of yours and other people's boundaries, prioritise your self-care and ensure clear communication so that you can navigate these energies effectively and make the most of the inspiration that they bring. So on the 26th of July, the Sun makes its exact sextile to Mars at 3:33 AM. I talked about this earlier in the week. The Moon's North Node goes direct. The Sun also makes a sextile quadrant to Saturn. Chiron goes stationary retrograde, and I've done a whole deeper special on this, so if you want to check that out, go check it out, yeah. And the Sun also makes a parallel to Uranus, and the Moon also enters void, of course. So when the Moon's North Node goes direct, it can bring a sense of destiny, purpose and growth. It can help us align with our true path and connect with supportive individuals for our journey. The intensity of this transit may sometimes feel overwhelming, pushing us outside of our comfort zones and forcing us to confront deep-seated fears or insecurities. And this can lead to unexpected changes that require us to be flexible, and this can create tension if we resist the necessary transformation. So the best use of this energy is to set intentions aligned with your long-term goals and needs, explore new opportunities that resonate with your authentic self, and embrace the lessons that push you forward on your spiritual and personal development journey. The Sun's sextile quadrant to Saturn, helps us take responsibility and work hard towards our goals, and supports us in building that solid foundation for long-term success, and gives us the power to overcome obstacles with patience and perseverance, and developing our inner strength, resilience and maturity, and taking accountability. but the tension between the Sun and Saturn right now in this aspect can cause feelings of self-doubt, frustration and restriction. So it wants us to reassess our priorities, face our limitations and confront authority figures, or even confront our own selves, because sometimes we can be the worst authority figure in terms of the authority that holds us back. Sometimes we blame external people and events, but a lot of the times we can be like the prison guard in our mind, not allowing ourselves to open up to new possibilities and experiences, like, oh, I've done this. And yeah, you are right, we are all as a collective, especially in the world we live in, suffering from trauma. Obviously some people's traumas are way deeper than others, but the whole point is finding the right, like, my search is no longer for that fairy tale ending or that fairy tale person. I want the right idiot for me. I'm an idiot, I believe all human beings are, so I just want the best. We need to sometimes we go for people similar to us, but what I found, it's best in some ways, not saying that some relationships where you are exactly the same, but if you've both got the same kind of like limitations or weaknesses or unmanaged weaknesses, let's say that unmanaged weaknesses, then this can cause a problem. So sometimes this is what our opposites can attract, and not in a way where we are jealous of our partner or try to hold them back or anything like that, in a way where we can help each other grow and like respect each other. So this energy allows us to commit to our self-improvement and strategically plan how we can overcome the limitations in our life, so we can make way for future success in our life. The past is gone, we can never get that back. You may have wasted decades of your life, yeah, this could all be true, years, whatever, missed opportunities, missed lovers, lots, all the good, you could think that, but no, I believe that, there's always more good. One person's trash is another person's treasure. So if you feel like you can never be, grounded, or find someone who can love you in the ways that you need, you can. And with the way that we do that is by, focusing on committing to our self-improvement, loving ourselves. And to do that, we have to commit to understanding, forgiving, respecting, valuing, nurturing, managing ourselves. So this energy gives us all we need, to focus on building more discipline and time management into our life, and setting realistic deadlines and expectations. So finally today, Chiron goes into retrograde. So again, this invites us to, revisit past wounds for healing. For the next 5 months, Chiron is in retrograde. We can look at releasing our patterns that no longer serve us for our highest good, because we don't have to do it all at once. Some people, this is the best way for you to do. For the most part, it's about writing down a strategic way to, reach your goals. Of course, respect other people's right. I'm not telling you to do things overtly from your partner or any other person in your life, unless it needs to be that way as well. But it just wants us to, really embrace self-care and understanding, respect and love and forgiveness, and to give ourselves support and to seek out support from trusted sources. If you feel we need it, to nurture our inner child and to do all we can to transform. But negatively, Chiron and retrograde, because it brings up unresolved trauma and intensifies feelings of vulnerability and triggers our old wound, so it can lead to moments of self-doubt, increased sensitivity, or a sense of being stuck in past patterns that get in the way of your growth with no way out. And so the best thing to do if this happens is to approach the challenges with compassion, patience and a willingness to confront difficult emotions head on, or at least confront them, and make a plan. Like I said, some people you're just going to go direct, wanting to do everything up front and confront them, everything now. And with some of you, it's going to be a steady progress, and that's okay. We all work on different levels, and we're all here living in this lifetime on this timeline to sort of like experience different lessons. So Chiron retrograde wants us to seek therapy or counselling to address underlying issues if you feel you need it, but take personal responsibility also for committing to our own self-help or self-development program, using different techniques, especially mindfulness and self-reflection, to gain insight into your emotional, spiritual and psychological triggers, and engaging in healing techniques such as meditation to help you, or Tai Chi, Reiki, energy healing, researching the tools that are going to help you. And as you focus on developing discipline and embracing challenges as opportunities for growth, and seeking mentorship or guidance to navigate obstacles, and for some of you this will be an actual person, for others it may just be a content creator, podcast or whatever. And remember that self-reflection and commitment to self-improvement are key at this time, and by strategically planning and setting realistic expectations you can overcome limitations. So be prepared for potential emotional pain and instability and unresolved trauma resurfacing, but approach whatever comes up right now with compassion and patience and a willingness to confront difficult emotions. So on the 27th of July, Venus makes a quincunx to Saturn, and Mercury makes a quincunx to Pluto, and the Moon enters Aries. So Venus's quincunx to Saturn, brings tension between love and responsibility. So again, this is another aspect this week that pushes us to evaluate our relationships and set healthier boundaries. Negatively, it can add to the feelings of loneliness or restriction within ourselves or in our relationships right now. We may feel unappreciated or struggle with expressing our affection right now. Some of you may feel like and realise that you need to prioritise your own self-care and well-being over constantly pleasing others and stuff like that. It's a reminder to work on balancing commitments and your personal desires and needs, looking after your psychological, emotional, physical and spiritual health and financial health are your needs, sort of thing. Mercury's quincunx to Pluto again supports us with our self-reflection and uncovering hidden truths, but negatively can add to the power struggles of the week, and misunderstandings can come up due to intense emotions clouding rational thinking. So it's crucial to approach communication with empathy and clarity at this time to avoid unnecessary conflicts. Lastly, the Moon entering Aries infuses us with a sense of being spontaneous and having courage, and it ignites our passions and motivates us to take action on our goals. And by embracing this energy, by initiating new projects or activities that fuel your inner fire, you can make the most of this energy, but just watch out for being impulsive and making rash decisions that can have long-term consequences. So all in all, today's energies just allow us to be more assertive, be focused on our self-discovery and care, and it just highlights the importance of setting boundaries and respecting other people's boundaries, prioritising self-care and communicating effectively in our relationships, as well as looking after our daily habits and the thoughts we allow to live in our minds, because these are the seeds for everything else. The way that we think typically dictates how we show up in the world, so it's important to not get rid of all negative thoughts. I don't believe in that, but to build positive habits and let the positive thoughts grow naturally as you incorporate techniques into your life to act and react more positively in your life. So that's the end of the weekly scopes from the 21st to the 27th of July. Take care and see you next time.